Good morning. Oh, come on. Yeah, how are y'all doing this morning? Pretty good. How many watched Packer game last night? Yeah. You know, I watched the Packer game from the most comfortable chair in our house. And it's my chair. I pretty much get to claim it. We love being comfortable, don't we? You like being comfortable? Okay, absolutely. Listen, I'm totally into comfort. I mean, I plop down in that big, easy chair that we have at home, and it's like I could almost live there. You know, I've got the remote control that I could change the channels. I have usually a vast array of food, you know, right there, easy to be grasped. I'll have a nice beverage or perhaps a nice cup of coffee. And I'll put my feet up. Sometimes I just take my shoes right off.
No.
Yeah, it's early in the morning. It's okay. And because you know what, dude? Well, I mean, I like being comfortable. As a culture in America, we're kind of into comfort, aren't we? Isn't that fair to say? I mean, we buy the furniture we buy because, you know, it's comfortable. And we buy the clothes that we buy because they're comfortable. I put on my most comfortable pair of jeans this morning. And I threw on this old shirt that just feels good on. We like being comfortable. If you're going to buy a car, one of the things you do is when you sit in it, right? Does that seat adjust just right? Because we want it to be comfortable. As a culture, we are just into being comfortable. And it's not just physical comfort that we get into. We're into being emotionally comfortable and socially comfortable and relationally comfortable because we want to be comfortable in life. In fact, if you ever want to get out of doing anything, here's what you say. I'm just not comfortable with that. Because, oh, well, if you're not comfortable, then certainly you can't do it. Because we all agree we want to be comfortable. And here's the fascinating thing about it. We transfer our desire to be comfortable to church. I mean, it's just natural. We want to go to a church where we're comfortable. And the guy or girl who talks up there is somebody we have to be comfortable with. And we need to feel comfortable around the people. And we need whatever the church does to make us feel comfortable. And if God forbid something would happen at church that unsettles our world a little bit, then we got to fix that. And we'll lobby and we'll protest and we'll gripe, and if we have to, we'll leave. And when we leave, it's because, you know what? I just wasn't comfortable there. We're just into comfort. Now, you know, I suppose on one hand that's very, very understandable. After all, did you know that you and I were created by God to live in paradise? That's where we were supposed to live. That's where God put the first two people, Adam and Eve. And work was easy, and everybody got along, and it was in an environment that I envision it like a tropical paradise with warm breezes and fruit trees everywhere. That's what we were created to live in. Anybody living in paradise right now? Whoa, can I move in with you? I mean, this world is hard. And so it only makes sense that when you have to move through a broken world where things are kind of difficult, that we want to seek out whatever measure of comfort we could possibly get. So let's not be too hard on ourselves. We were created to live in a comfortable environment, and it's not comfortable out there, so we do whatever we can to seek out a measure of just comfort. That's really weird. Jesus didn't seem to care a whole lot about our comfort. I mean, Jesus would say things like this. He would say, I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore be shrewd as snakes and innocent of doves. I don't know about you, but I have a feeling that a sheep in the middle of a pack of wolves would not feel particularly comfortable. What do you think? Or just a few verses later, Jesus said this, do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. It's like, no, Jesus, you got that wrong. You're having a bad moment, Jesus. You didn't have your coffee this morning, did you, Jesus? Because you're supposed to be here to bring peace. right? Peace on earth, good will toward man. Here's Jesus going, don't think I came to bring peace, but a sword. There are going to be battles and fights, and it's uncomfortable. And, the early followers of Jesus, they got that. I mean, here's one of the things that an apostle said. He said, in fact, everyone who wants to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will be what? Persecuted. Now, there's nothing comfortable about persecution. Last I checked, anyway. Right? And so here it is. It's like, oh, wait a minute. We all want to be comfortable, and yet here is Jesus going, no, you're like wolves, or like sheep amongst wolves, and it's going to be like a fight, not a paradise, and you're gonna suffer when you move through the world. And it's like, Jesus, what is up with that? I mean, seriously. Why in the world would God seem to care so little about our comfort? Is he sadistic? Is he? I remember when I was growing up, I was in early grade school. There was a little neighbor boy that lived about, maybe a half a mile from my house. And it's like what he did for kicks was torture small animals. He would capture toads and frogs, and he would do things I would describe to you, but a lot of times they involved firecrackers and lighter fluid. And it's like, what is wrong? Somehow he just got a measure of satisfaction in watching innocent animals just suffer. And sometimes we can get a view. Is that what God is like? Does he just like to mess with us a little bit? Ha, watch this. Oh. What's up with that? But then when we begin to peruse the teachings of Jesus, and we really begin to study the ancient scriptures, we actually find that it's really not so much that Jesus wants us uncomfortable, but he knows something about what happens when we are uncomfortable. In fact, maybe we can answer the question this way, that Jesus taught us that real life is found outside of your comfort zone. That whenever we're comfortable, whenever we try to make ourselves feel good, physically, emotionally, relationally, we're all about playing it safe and being comfortable, that in that environment it may feel good, but real life is never found here. Real life involves getting outside of the comfort zone. It involves leaving that behind and moving into the realm of the uncomfortable. In fact, Jesus put it this way in the Gospel of John, chapter 10 and verse 10. He said, I have come that you might have life and that you might have it what? To the full. I just don't want you to have life. I want you to have maximum life. I want you to have real life. I want you to have a life that is really worth living. But you can never have that kind of life when you're in your comfort zone. So Jesus is always leading us out of our comfort zone. In fact, sometimes what Jesus will do is he will actually introduce uncomfortable circumstances into our lives. He'll do it. And the reason he does it, he says that when you're comfortable, you can't really find real life. It's only outside of your comfort zone that you can find it. And Jesus is more interested that you experience real life than that you become comfortable. Maybe I should repeat that. Jesus is more interested in having you experience a life that's really life than he's interested in you just being comfortable. So he's always working to get us out of our comfort zone so we have a real life. And if we don't understand that, we are always misinterpreting what Jesus is doing in our lives. If we think he's about making us comfortable, and yet things are always happening to make us uncomfortable, we want to go, what is up? Do you not like me? Are you not who I thought you were? And Jesus is going, I'm just trying to get you to have a life that's really